Going live here in a minute.
Live.
All right. It says we're live. I'm just waiting for the. All right. Good. And
On air.
we're on YouTube. Hello, YouTube.
Hello.
Howdy.
8:15. We're practically early.
It only took us a month to get here, but we got here early.
And we're well read.
Gambling Smurfs. We're well read. Is that what you said?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I'm not making that claim.
It's not just the gambling Smurf. It's the gambling Smurfs with the ace of spades in the place of the A in gambling.
Did it? I didn't even notice that.
Oh yeah.
The ace of spades.
Even on the like spine. So it's like the ace of spades.
Oh.
There, but it's the same on the spine. But it's
That's
too
funny.
small to really see.
Oh yeah, I got it.
See that the A is at least lifted there, so it's like, man, they were really selling it there.
Yeah, I have things to say when we get there.
What's that?
Nothing. We can wait. Let's say for everybody first.
Hey, welcome to Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix Podcast live show. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Jesse.
It's been
1 week.
I know, God, you did it. It was in my head. That's what tripped me up.
Yep.
I debated. I blame the internet for that because that's really what drilled that song into my head. I mean, I was around when it was on the radio all the time, but it was the internet. They memed that to death.
Yeah.
Here's what we're doing tonight. We're going to talk about it's been so long. It's time to already do a comic book review or a graphic novel review. The last time we did a live stream, we did our last month's comic book review. So yeah, it's, we took the holidays off. Part of them anyway. I mean, giving its creeping up on Christmas in 2 weeks.
I was gonna say, listen, we celebrate Halloween for an entire month. We were just doing the same for Thanksgiving.
That's right. We got to make an appearance before our Christmas month break. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Definitely not streaming on the 25th, but that doesn't matter because we're here now. We're here. And we're gonna talk about some Smurfs.
Yep.
Some Smurfin' Smurfs. Right. We're gonna Smurf about some Smurfin' Smurfs.
If you Smurf around, you'll find out.
Smurf around and Smurf. Because it doesn't matter what word you replace. There's no logic or rules.
Well, there's actually a whole storyline about that, but we won't get into that tonight.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. It starts a civil war based on whether you Smurf the adjective or you Smurf the verb or whatever. Yeah. There's depending on it's a whole thing.
Huh.
Rightfully so, because they're real willy-nilly.
Yeah, they really are. Until they get specific, and then they're super specific. They really just get fixated on a thing. I think we'll get into it, but I think the Smurfs really just suffer from ADHD hyperfixations.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every story is just whatever's their hyperfixation of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. That's interesting. But first, how are you two doing? It's been a little while.
I'm okay.
Doing all right. Yeah, better than last week.
Yeah. We were set to go last week, but you were feeling under the weather, and honestly, that's fine. I was not feeling particularly motivated.
I'm never motivated.
Coming out
last week, I thought I had strep throat, so it would have been literally painful. But
was it just the end of November, Melanie, that I wrapped that big project that I was working on for a client?
It was mid-November, I'd say.
Okay. That kind of
maybe I'm wrong. No, maybe it was the end of November. You're right. I
Yeah,
think it was the end.
yeah, it was towards the end. Yeah, I was toast after that. I was kind of done with things. That was only like 2 weeks ago. Okay, that might kind of explain my total disconnect from everything. I've not been active on really social. I mean, it's not like I'm not there. I peruse, but my point is Jesse was sick, and of course we don't like it when he's sick, but also I was kind of like, I'm good with skipping Grawlix again, even though it'd been getting close to a month we hadn't done a stream. But I'm glad we're back tonight.
Yeah.
Because oh boy, there's a few things we can talk about. Honestly, not that much. Because I mean, the big news that kind of like plays into things we usually speak about would be the whole Netflix WB thing. But at this point,
Right.
I don't know what the situation is because Paramount made like a hostile bid. And I don't.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't talk about it last week because we just have to talk about it again because like right after that happened, which would have been last Thursday, yeah, this has happened.
And I haven't heard like any kind of updates because it sounded like the companies were making announcements. They're like, yeah, this is boom.
Yeah.
Here's what's happening.
No, most recent thing I saw was that now they're having to completely shift because of this. Like now it's looking like it may go more in the direction of Paramount.
What kind of sucks about, I mean, Netflix is like a public, like they have shareholders and stuff, right? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah.
So if they're a publicly traded company, they have to take the highest offer, I think legally. I think they can't decline. I could be wrong. Or maybe most companies are just like, why would we take a lower offer? But the original news, I'm sure everybody's probably aware, was that Netflix and Netflix made a bid to buy Warner Brothers because Warner's been trying to shop that out and get out of that for a little while. And like 38 point something billion dollars, Netflix made an offer and they were making announcements like it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that worried lots of people. Obviously, any of them merging, even if it's not Netflix, if it's Paramount, it's a monopoly issue. It's already been a monopoly issue, but it's even bigger monopoly issue.
Yeah.
But beyond
it's going to be a monopoly issue either way.
Yeah.
But it would have been like if we're looking at that, the Netflix merger is the scarier of the two because then they would have like 60% of the streaming market.
Right. Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah, but they used to have like 100% of the streaming market.
That's true. That's true. They literally had a monopoly without buying anything.
Right.
So I know movie industry people were very concerned. Lots of movie industry people were it was like apocalyptic. They had apocalyptic opinions about what that meant for the studio system and the theatrical releases, because Netflix has kind of been strong-armed into releasing things theatrically if they want a movie to try to get an Oscar or something. Otherwise, they clearly are not. They're the opposite of that. They're streaming from home, and they've been fighting against that whole like release window issue. So people are like, well, Netflix is gonna whatever abandon that or establish a new whatever. It's gonna ruin that whole system. Netflix claimed, I think initially, like, no, we're not going to change anything. But come on,
right?
They're going to do whatever they want once they have the company.
Yeah.
The other side of it, which was something I was very curious about, was that would include Warner Brothers games, and I'm assuming also DC in the comic book, like not obviously the properties. That's what Netflix wants, but I'm pretty sure like the game publishing and developing divisions and the comic book industry, like that whole side, would have been a package deal. What's Netflix what would they have done with that stuff?
I don't know where this falls either, but like CNN is on the table on one
Oh,
end or the other. If it goes one way, they get CNN. If it goes the other way, they don't get CNN. And I don't know which is which. Like maybe it's Paramount. Like if Paramount gets it, then they also get CNN. But if they go Netflix, maybe they don't get CNN. I don't know which is which. Like I don't know enough of it,
interesting.
of the details. But it's like, oh, that's strange. We're like, I can't imagine that Netflix would get into the business of doing the news. But
Right. That definitely seems like, if anything, Paramount's
yeah,
purview, like in their wheelhouse. Yeah, that was the other thing, is like, what does Discovery then? Because they would split back off. What would they retain? What about the Adult Swim brand and all that? Like,
yeah,
or not Adult Swim, but Cartoon Network is the bigger brand, which is pretty much
yeah.
just a brand name at this point. But yeah, I don't know. Lots of things that they hadn't really got into, and then Paramount was like $108 billion.
Who put this apple cart here?
Right. And I don't know anything. I haven't seen anything since that. But the biggest reaction that I saw was a lot of people were like, I thought Paramount was broke. I thought they were like struggling as it is. How are they going to suddenly throw a 108 billion? That's more than double what Netflix was offering.
Now
That's
is
aggressive.
Skydance Paramount? Like, are they're connected to Jared Kushner, right?
Skydance, I don't think Paramount is. Skydance is. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, no. Paramount and Skydance merged. I think Skydance, I think, is maybe. Oh, so that would be.
Yep.
That's why they get CNN, huh?
Kushner. Oh my God. Kushner and the Saudis are tied up in that then.
Yeah.
They already bought EA.
So, like, it's art imitating life, or life imitating art, because remember the Thanksgiving episode of South Park was they got that Saudi money.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. What a mess. And of course, I mean, gee, which way is the government going to favor? Because regardless who it is, the government has to like approve it.
Regardless, there's going to be some kind of quid pro quo, because that's the way it works now. We're like, oh, well, my ballroom hasn't been working out so great lately.
Yeah.
I could use some donors.
What a mess. What a mess that we're in.
Yeah.
And that's also the problem with everything being so interconnected like that, is it's not just suddenly, it is political, and it does have to do with the horrible political landscape we're in.
Yeah.
It's very closely tied to that. It shouldn't be. That should be completely separate, and then doing their due diligence to decide whether or not this monopoly is illegal or not. And illegal or not, it doesn't even matter. It's not relevant.
Yeah.
What was it? I was listening to a news podcast this morning, and it was talking about how many billionaires are now in the cabinet compared to the last time. And I was like, oh yeah.
Wait, how many are billionaires now, or how many started off as billionaires?
They started off as billionaires. Like, you're like, hey, you're a billionaire. Join my club, running things. It was like, there's kind of a conflict of interest right off the bat, you know?
Yeah. It's because we have a monopoly in the political, whatever arena.
But the show's not political.
We're not.
Except politics.
We're talking about Netflix, man. We're talking about Netflix.
Politics made it political. Wait.
You got politics into my economic review.
Yeah, anyway, that was a big chunk of news. Like, I don't even know what's other than that. I don't know what's really going on the news front for the most part.
Stranger Things. That's going on.
Right. We can talk Stranger Things because we've all watched the first bulk chunk that they've released.
They're calling it a volume. What are they calling it?
That probably makes
Chapter?
the most sense. Chapter. Man, they're milking it. they're milking it.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm not hating the long
Man, I was like,
episodes, but
oh yeah,
but they're milking it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was like, really? This is how we're gonna end it? I mean, like this. And is this mid-season? Is this considered mid-season?
I think there's another chunk releasing Christmas,
Mhm.
and then like a final big episode.
Okay, so they're doing like the Cobra Kai thing they did.
Oh, did they release it in like 3?
Yeah, yeah. What they did with Cobra Kai was they had the first part, the second part, and then basically like a finale.
Yeah. That's what they're doing. I was gonna look
And
up.
the finale was like super long, comparatively, like almost double length.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Well-
sure that's how they're gonna do it. So it's 1 through 4 is out now, obviously. 5 through 7, Christmas Day, episode 8, which I'm pretty sure is gonna be like a 2-hour deal at least, or most likely roughly 2 hours on New Year's Eve. I'd heard they were gonna drop that in theaters too, but I don't know if that's true.
Why not? Might as well.
That's free money.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
like-
not free,
it's-
but people go
It's like
see
how
it.
they do the finales of Doctor Who anymore, you know?
Yeah,
Just throw it in there too.
man, I think that's yeah. Why not? I mean, we've gone. I guess that last Chainsaw Man was a movie, but we went and seen the like premiere 2 or 3 episodes of Dan to Dan season 2 in the theater. That was cool. It was very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm down for that. They don't ever do like Doctor Who things around here, obviously. So I've never hit those, but it's a good show. Theater's an interesting way to watch it. Do we want to talk a little bit then about Stranger Things? What we thought about 1 through
Yes.
4 so far?
I do.
Sure.
And I will
Okay.
tell you, they have footage of the first season. Why don't they use the footage of the first season instead of using a different actor and trying to pretend like he's the kid? I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense.
That VFX
Was it-
budget has
Was
to
it
go
Will
somewhere.
or
Yeah, Will.
so they they recast Will
Well, they did, and then they did a whole bunch of. I mean, I'm
AI?
assuming they have. I think there's some debate. Corridor Crew did a video on it. They didn't have a whole lot of insight beyond whatever's publicly released about it, but I think it's mostly CG. But obviously they have got to have somebody more his size in there.
Mhm.
It did look weird to me though. I mean, other than like it kind of being CG, the benefit is that everything looks CG, even though it wasn't. It's very heavily digitally processed digital look. A lot of the upside down.
It
just
seemed
looked
a
that way.
little out of character based on the Will that we got from season 1.
Mhm.
Right, and I don't remember him having a gun over in there.
No, I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, it feels like some retconning. I don't like that. It's like I thought you guys had the plan from the beginning. You guys I've always said you knew how it was going to end, but I guess there's little filler bits to get there that they wanted to use. But yeah, whatever.
I guess that's kind of a springboard right into my very first, like, I don't know if it's a criticism or not, but kind of it's a criticism. Just right off the bat, man, this is a lot of the upside down. And I'm cool with that, but the way that the upside down has always been represented is that it's so dangerous that like you shouldn't spend long swaths of time in it at all.
Uh-huh.
And now it's like the military's just gonna, I mean, look, spoilers, we're getting into it. The military just lives there now, Like they just have a base over there. You know,
Right.
like they're not worried about it. They don't care about demo dogs or Vecna or any of that, you know, and they certainly don't care that like it might be radioactive and whatnot.
Yeah, no, I had that thought too. And they can have their like base set up with a little like fence, but as we see at some point, the roof, despite what's his name? The sheriff.
Hopper?
Despite Hopper saying like it's made of metal, it's clearly like a see-through like I know that material. That's not metal. That's like a see-through plasticky type roofing. And my thought was like, why is there only like, is the Demogorgon the only thread in there now? What happened to the like weird baddie pterodactyl things that killed
that's what I kept
Eddie?
thinking about. Was like yeah, Eddie got swarmed by those flying things. We haven't seen any of those, or if we have, we've just seen like glimpses of them. So like what's going on there? Are they only controlled by Vecna and they're all hanging out somewhere else, or
Right. The way it seemed before is like you said, it's very dangerous to be there. You don't want to be there long. The stuff floating around is maybe spores or something possibly. And there's various creatures is what the flying things led me to believe. But that's not kind of how it's represented.
used to be a demo dog. Remember the demo dog that Dennis
Yeah.
like raised in an aquarium or whatever?
Right.
Like there was all sorts of weird creatures and stuff that were dangerous.
And the military has like a tentacle creature in their base. But man, Hopper and 11 are like trekking all over that thing and all over that place and seem to have little to no trouble. For the most part.
Mm-hmm.
I guess unless the military's been there long enough to just hunt everything down.
I guess that could be.
Because there is a time jump in this thing, right? Like,
yeah, definitely.
But I mean, in the past, didn't they have like vines going after people and stuff? And they have a whole big meat wall that's not attacking anybody. That seems odd to me.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, the
That
meat
said-
wall feels like a brand new addition to this thing too.
Oh,
like,
it definitely
Yeah.
is.
they're not fooling anybody there.
That said, it does look cool. It looks like the Upside Down.
yeah.
It's a cool looking place. I really like some of the concepts they toyed with. I feel like, was it last season they established that there was like a weird time? It's kind of like I don't know, there's a weird time difference, but not really. But this season, that's not really an issue because they can track people in there in real time using, the little satellite on the top of the.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that in itself is kind of cool, being able to track them and follow them through the city by following the signal, or the town.
I call BS on being able to just slap a bunch of metal slats across a giant chasm in the ground. That's not gonna work. I don't know.
They're big metal
Right.
band-aid.
The metal band-aid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some leaps. I feel like there's definitely some leaps coming off of last season that I didn't necessarily feel like were a problem in previous seasons, where they went
Vecna's
big.
like so strong. Like, I guess it's been really long time, and he's just been healing and growing powerful or something, or it's because he's gotten enough kids already that he's siphoned
Right.
energy off of, or
Right.
Yeah.
What was?
And there's gonna be like every sibling is gonna join this stuff before long.
Right.
They got you.
Yeah. Another thing I have beef with is I'm not hating this season. Yeah, I think it's fun.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
But the little bits of drama, I get that they're doing like a Dustin's PO'd because of Eddie and whatever. But like the drama between him and Steve, and I know friends get like at each other and stuff, but there's definitely been moments where I'm like, I don't buy this at all. Like
Right.
Steve's really not at all concerned. He's just mad that Dustin didn't show up for this thing. And Dustin said he fell off his bike and he's clearly like beat to hell. And
Right.
Steve's just going to like be a D-bag about it to kind of spur this drama that they went between Steve and Dustin. I was like, it's too much. It's too much. I feel like he would be more concerned than outright angry.
Or he would have talked to the other kids.
The other kids had a more appropriate reaction, so I was like, well, I'm kind of glad about that. It's not just everybody's going to be like that.
Yeah.
But
also, I don't think being homosexual is a superpower, but I think it was more just the pep talk made him feel more confident in himself.
Right.
I love that he can do that. I love that. He should have been able to do that the whole time.
Let's clarify that, because out of nowhere that seems weird.
Okay.
So we're talking about Will, and specifically what she's referencing is, I had seen, before I'd watched the episodes, I'd seen a comment on Reddit, a kind of crappy comment about somebody being very dismissive about how lame it was. Oh, being gay is a superpower now. Like that's how they interpreted that, right? Will's like getting his stuff together at the end of that chunk of episodes. And that's not what the deal is. I don't think, because I feel like it was, no, it's got nothing to do with that. It's Will finally being okay with himself and getting confidence and like getting over some mental blocks that might be around his sexuality, but it's not because he's gay he suddenly unlocks his superpowers.
Well, it's the opposite of what Vecna was saying about him in the first place, was that, you were easy. You were an easy mind to control. You were an easy thrall. And then it's like, oh yeah, flipping the script.
Yeah.
Right. He's like, yeah, easy to break, which might have been the case. He was in a vulnerable state and was not okay with himself. And it would make sense that he would. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say all around, because they were in a single parent household and they didn't have a lot of money, and he was a nerd. Like, there's so many things, so many reasons for him to be, unsure.
Right. Yeah, I thought I should clarify that's what Melanie was referencing.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't even know if that's a common thing. That was a one-off comment I seen on Reddit that kind of stuck with me, and I was very curious. I was like, wait. I mean, it definitely falls in. That sounds like something that somebody who would complain about things being too woke would say. So I was like, what are they talking about? And it wasn't until the very end of that 4th episode I was like, oh, that's what they were talking about.
Yeah. It was kind of dumb on their part, I think, to tie it to that, just because they should have known that people would be that way.
Okay.
That could have been a separate storyline from the superpowers, or what? It's not even a superpower. It's like an effect of what was done to him or whatever.
Right. I mean, if anything, I think the flaw in him being able to harness his access to the hive mind and having some telekinetic abilities going on is that it took 5 seasons to happen.
Yeah.
That's the flaw.
Yeah, you'd think there would be some kind of indication that there's something going on besides just being like shaky when the Demogorgon's near. Like that's the most he had, was kind of a spidey sense, but not really, like a really bad spidey sense. Like if spidey sense warns you that there's a problem, he just stands still.
Maybe he was
like, oh no, they're coming.
He was like, I'm scared, I don't want to get a nosebleed, I can't do it. But now he's like, screw it, I'll just let my nose bleed, I don't care.
Nosebleeds suck, man.
I do feel like
it's scary.
I do feel like there's a lot of coloring things in real quick this last season that they like maybe had a vague idea, or they're like, well, we'll figure out exactly where this goes later. And then it's later and they're like, oh, we got to do this. bust out the CGI children for flashbacks, and suddenly, he can see
Oh,
through the eyes of
all you got to
Vecna.
do now is just having one or two handheld flamethrowers, and you can get into the Upside Down now.
Yeah.
Like
Right,
before, you need
right.
like practically a nuclear reactor to get in,
Yeah.
and a full facility or whatever.
So yeah, I think those, in my opinion, a little bit of the character, and just people being stupid, so things happen. They're doing that a lot, and that irritates me. Like, they're the worst kidnappers. They're the
Oh,
worst
the
kidnappers.
kidnapping thing, that whole thing. Yeah.
The plot is ridiculous, but it played out. It was fun. It's like, okay, we get it. And then they do a little Home Alone setup for the Demogorgon, but then like it's just the kid waking up, and he's, first off, if you don't want the family to see or hear who took them and where they're at, make sure the kid stays covered in whatever. But also, like, then don't just hang out 5 feet from them having full conversations about everything the whole time.
Right.
Yeah.
If Vecna could see through their eyes, you kind of have to assume he could maybe access other senses like hearing.
You'd think he'd still be connected to Will too, so maybe Will shouldn't be allowed to take part in all of this stuff.
Right. And some of the friction between 11 and Hopper was getting real old. It's like, man, we've been doing this for like
since season 2, man.
Yeah, 4 seasons. This is the 4th season now. We've been doing this whole shtick. Just some of that drama, it feels unnecessary. For the most part, it looks good though, man. I mean, questionable CGI flashback children aside, I heard this season cost $580 million. Wow. And you can see they clearly put money in it. You can see the money on the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of CGI children, how are there like 4 kids missing and nobody knows about it?
Right. That's a good point. It is a small town too.
Yeah.
It's Generation X. It's latchkey kids. Nobody cares.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you're right.
It took a while, even Winona Ryder was like, hey, listen, I waited like how long before I even started looking?
I don't know, something like 16 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
I like that because that's so realistic, because like, yeah, I mean, maybe it's not. I'm not a parent. Maybe if you come home, and you always check to make sure your kid's in bed, but it seems realistic to me that somebody would come home and assume that they're in bed.
Yeah.
And go to sleep or whatever they do.
Yeah.
And things are routine enough. Yeah.
Right.
And plus, Winona Ryder doesn't seem like she was necessarily the best mom.
Right. Everyone knew she was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That's a season 1 thing. At least they're staying consistent with some things,
That's true.
Look at how surprised she is by everything. She was like, what? Huh? Wow.
So surprised she is. Yeah. Oh, the flux capacitor?
Hey, she apparently doesn't get out to movies ever either. Which, sure, maybe, okay. But Back to the Future was big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. The Max reveal was fine.
Right. It was fine. It's
Melanie,
good subplot, I guess.
Melanie didn't spoil it for me. She didn't because she didn't know, but she guessed. Guessed.
I'm sorry. I need to stop doing that.
It's fine. You didn't know.
I know, but it's kind of spoilery when I guess stuff beforehand.
It's only spoilery if you're right.
You're right.
And then it's not really a spoiler.
How often am I wrong? Come on.
Right.
I was actually kind of wrong about the Will thing. I kept thinking like that I had gotten slight spoilers and whatnot, and I was like thinking, oh, what's going to be revealed is that he has been a pawn. He has been Vecna's eyes for the first whole half of this season, and he'll be completely taken over by the end of this first half. That's what I thought was going to happen. So I was pleasantly surprised by Will's comeuppance. Like,
Right. Right. Yeah. Why didn't does he just not? Why didn't Vecna look through his eyes? Maybe he did. Maybe
He's
just
like, this kid is boring.
this kid is boring. Vecna's just that like sure of himself. He's just like, I don't care what 11's doing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. This season I can definitely feel more of the like outside influence of like what I read online affecting my opinions of characters and stuff. Like my view of 11 has gone downhill a little bit just because I don't know where I got the somewhat unfavorable opinion of
Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah. But I feel like I've seen some things where it's just like, oh, she's not necessarily the nicest person. But I might be totally wrong. And that might be weird, sexist online propaganda that goes on about every woman who plays a strong character in a show.
I don't know how we haven't talked about this yet. Chicago is back, baby.
Oh, right. Yeah, I was a little surprised. I was like, well, I thought they were just going to drop that storyline and never touch it again.
Yeah.
I was fine with that. I thought that was all right. It's like, well, good. That means that actually like
mattered.
Had something to do with it. It makes sense because otherwise it would be such a big plot hole that there's these other kids running around with superpowers somewhere else that have nothing to do with anything anymore, you know?
Oh wait, what's her sister? What's that girl's name? That's in a coma.
Max.
Max. If I was Max, I wouldn't be being scared and hiding up in a hole. I'd be going out to that one memory every day, waiting for somebody to play a song so I could go home. I don't know what she's doing.
Right. Well, she got scared of Vecna and ran away, and then she gave up.
But it's not like he's just hanging out there all the time. Just just run around to just check every other day or something, you know.
I mean, she's clearly going right up to Vecna's house.
Yeah.
In order to be able to see the kids. So
yeah, that's pretty risky. Okay. Are you guys? Were you hyped? Did you still care? I know you.
I still cared. It wasn't as scary. It wasn't scary at all this time. I mean, like they lean more into gore than scary, and I'd rather they got scary.
Sure.
Yeah.
They messed up that mom, man. Is it Wheelers?
They did. That was a bit surprising.
I thought the dad would be a goner for sure, but maybe not. I don't think it would make much of a difference.
That's the best part about that character, though. Is that he's just like, man.
And he got tossed. I mean, he got thrown through a wall, but he's in a medically induced coma. Meanwhile, they're just kind of still talking to the mom, and really, she should be dead. Her character seemed like she should be dead. It's a little bit of a cop out that she's not, but it's also whatever. It's fine. If they don't kill her off, I get it. That's a little dark.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're gonna kill off any of the major characters this season?
No.
I think 11 will go. I mean, if anyone's gonna get that Messiah complex, if they're gonna get that moment,
that's true.
11, that she's just gonna sacrifice herself to save everyone she loves.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, we need more time to see if it comes to fruition or anything. But I think her and the other psychic children will like tear the two worlds apart, and maybe they'll stay in the other one if they do anything weird. That would be what it would be.
What about
they get stuck there, kind of thing? Like it gets locked off,
or just like be gods there, basically.
Well, it sounds like they're going to continue Stranger Things. Like there's going to be
Oh, really?
spin-offs and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
And they're going to do like animated stuff. So because, the kids are all actually adults at this point.
right.
So like they can continue it on via voice acting through animated projects or something.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I would be. That's the only thing. I don't think they'll kill off anybody in a way that would prevent spin-offs.
Right.
So it's got to be somebody who like they wouldn't plan on using in a spin-off. They're not going to throw away that opportunity.
Right.
Hop's been angling so hard to sacrifice himself that I'm on the fence of whether or not he's going to be able
Like
to.
he really just should be able to die. Dude just wants to die.
Yeah.
It'll be Murray. Murray's going to get his moment.
You know what? That actually makes perfect sense. It should be Murray at least.
It should be Murray. Yeah, he's the dude that wouldn't even talk to people, and now he's the guy that drives in and out of a military installation to give them stuff.
He's whatever they need for the plot. He is purely plot device man. If they need something for this to happen, that's the guy.
Well, you need to kidnap some kids. I got a truck for that.
Also, like, so he's so good at like he sneaks in. It's like the dude's there every day. I feel like the military would be like, no one in and or out, but we keep letting this dude in every day. We don't know where he's
every
going.
day.
Well, he's got that truck. He does have supplies that he drops off, and then he goes over there afterwards.
Yeah, probably just to make the cover. Yeah.
It was a Smurfing good time.
Hey. Yep.
Right.
Got smurfed right upside down.
We should move on.
Smurf that whole thing.
Real quick, did we want to mention Supergirl trailer? There's really not much to say.
There was a Supergirl trailer. Watch it. There you go.
It looks good.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty decent visually. It's not James Gunn, and of course there's gonna be comments like, "Oh, something about James Gunn's playlist." It's like, dude, James Gunn didn't make this one, but and just because it's an old song in there, kind of with electronic drums now, doesn't necessarily mean that's James Gunn's doing, but
it's gonna be a sad, awkward Disney movie.
Visually, it reminded me of Guardians in that like dusty, not quite cyberpunk, but I don't know, space punk, dusty planet way.
Yeah,
with bounty hunters and stuff. You barely get to see Lobo for half a second.
Right.
I will say though, and this is everybody agrees with this. It's not a hot take. Jason Momoa casting as Lobo, like,
yeah, he was always meant to do that. Yeah,
it's like maybe the only casting he's ever been truly perfect for. I like Jason Momoa. I don't think he's bad, but Aquaman, come on, Lobo, that makes complete sense.
Right.
The director, yeah, that was the thing. That's what Melanie was alluding to. Is I was like, who's this guy? What's he done? And I looked him up, and it's like, oh, okay. He directed the Cruella movies for Disney, which is what Melanie's comment was about. I think the only movie of like notable acclaim or critical acclaim was Lars and the Real Girl, which I've heard of, but I've never seen.
Yeah.
That's actually more why I said awkward and depressing, and then I added Disney movie because of Cruella in this.
Kind of like a coming of age type of movie then. So is that what they're going to try and do with this? But action it up.
I think she's of age. She was drinking.
Well, she said it's going to be her 23rd birthday.
Right.
Lars and the Real Girl, Cruella 1 and 2, Dumb Money, I Tonya, which is I don't know if it was made for TV or streaming or whatever. Tanya Harding story movie. The 2011 remake of, honestly, the only movie of his I've seen is the 2011 remake of Fright Night, which I mean, I don't think it was bad, but I love the original Fright Night. So
Yeah.
Um,
David Tennant was the best part. Sort of. Not even that.
right.
Yeah.
It was good.
But that's not to crap on the guy. Like, he's a working man. That's fine. But of course, anytime, especially when they're like, they mention the director's name in the credit or in the trailer, you're like, like other than like they speak his name.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, cool. Is this a guy with like style and vision? And then I looked up and I was like, I mean, if he does, I don't know what it is. So it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. You throw a jobber on a thing once in a while.
Yeah.
That's very dismissive. Maybe it'll be great.
It will be great. But you know what is okay?
Oh, it sounds like a real gamble to me.
Well, let's switch over to Grawlix podcast mode then, because we got to talk about some Smurfs.
Yeah.
Welcome to Grawlix podcast. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Jesse.
Yeah, that's right. We're back. So
yeah, that's right.
That's right. We're Smurf.
Yeah.
Smurf, the Smurfs. Number 25. Smurf. Gambling. So here's what we're doing. We're gonna it's time to discuss another comic book, and this month's comic book discussion. This month's comic book was chosen by Jesse. You want to tell us about?
That's right.
What
Give
we
me
read?
the heat. I want the heat. Send the
I know
hate
you
mail
do.
my way. Send me the
you.
hate mail. I don't have a whole lot of info on it other than it's what would it be? It'd be volume 25 of the Smurfs like ongoing series of like they released them as hardbound. I have a used hardbound copy. They also released them as paperbound copies. They've reformatted them into these big, beautiful anthology books, which I actually wish I had because like those are easier to read and the art's bigger, so you can see it better. But this one I thought was of particular note because when you think of the Smurfs, you think of kind of a wholesome Smurf village kind of deal, right? But in this particular story, the gambling Smurfs, you can see a little bit more of how Smurf Village interacts with the human world beyond even Gargamel, and how that also impacts them. So, like you often think of the Smurfs as being their own little kind of microcosm, their own little community that impacts themselves, and then just leaving the village is what tends to cause them troubles because that's when Gargamel's going to catch them or whatever, right? Or Gargamel's going to try and send something in that infiltrates Smurf Village. But in this case, it all starts with the Smurfs getting out there, getting some things from the human world and
spices.
Yeah,
it's always humans. It's always we go after spices and then bad stuff happens. It's history.
But fear is the mind killer, so yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the setup. Is they're headed out into the human world to get some spices so they can make Smurf berry stuff into tarts, and that's a no when it comes to Papa Smurf. But they don't come back with spices, but they come back with a knowledge of the game.
Which okay, here's my big gripe with the whole thing. They go there. Some guy bets on which of these two jousters is going to win, and suddenly they know how to play craps. How is that? It doesn't make
they really
sense.
do.
There's definitely a leap where at one point we're going to jump around. There's definitely a leap that I thought was pretty amusing with like, whatever, they're just betting on dice rolls, and then that becomes snail racing. So now they've brought racing into it.
Oh yeah.
And that's and then some other things, but that's about the time they get shut down, and then it's straight up blackjack and roulette wheel
in the basement, like a speakeasy.
Basement speakeasy casino room with full on like tables and stuff. I was amused by that. I was like, oh, it's a very sudden leap.
Well, the first thing they bet on is like so like it starts super elementary, it's like he's just mad and he kicks this rock and it hits a sign and then he's like, man, did you see that? And then one of the other guys is like, I bet you can't do that again. And then he does it and kicks it and it hits somebody.
Yep.
And they just start betting about stupid stuff too. Like they just like some of them like Brainy loses his pants. He's the only one that loses pants in this whole thing, but like he lost his pants. He's carrying around a barrel, Smurf sized barrel. That whole thing, that sight gag.
Was it Brainy lost everything? Was it Brainy?
Yeah, Brainy.
So yeah, the gambling bug rips through the entirety of the village.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's affected except of course Papa Smurf's oblivious until he's not.
So the wood carving or chucking or whatever that guy is.
The country bumpkin, the wood
yeah.
Lumberjack Smurf. Yeah.
Lumberjack, yeah.
Yeah, because he ain't got time for games. These city Smurfs.
I like how they're like just like losing their signature items because they're betting them off. Like was it one of them like bet off the ladder for Carpenter Smurf or something like that?
Yeah.
So he's just like, I don't know what to do. I gotta get his ladder back. And then like Vanity Smurf is like betting off his mirror. It's like, dude.
Yep.
So you got people like playing trumpets that have no cares about trumpets and whatnot.
Was it Brawny Smurf's like dumb? He's got all of Brainy Smurf stuff, and he's like, "Cool. I don't know what to do with any of this."
Yeah.
So I want to talk about gambling because there's obviously like the moral here, but I feel like it's also undermines itself by the end a little bit. If we're looking at this as like showing the reader the evils of gambling, I feel like it's effective at certain points. Are the Smurfs made? Is the original intent of the Smurfs comics? Is it for children, or maybe adult friendly, but for kids still? So I'm uncertain.
Maybe it might have been. I mean, I assume that things like this are generally targeted towards children, especially back then. But like I also think that back then animation and cartoons were different. Like you think about other cartoons that are from that era, then you're thinking of things like Rocky and Bullwinkle too, and it's like it's dumb and it's funny and whatnot, but also like it's way too smart to be just for the kids. Like they're making references of the era. They're making references about news and stuff like that. So I think Smurfs probably fall into that category a little bit. Yeah.
Like a lot of the old cartoons, a lot of like Looney Tunes and stuff like that. And it kind of like latched onto maybe some of the 90s stuff like Animaniacs, but that was also a lot of like throwback to the older style of like, it's goofy and it's silly for kids, but also like if you're an adult, there's definitely some stuff you're like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it from the perspective of like, okay, this is for kids, and it very well could be their introduction to gambling and like the moral there. They completely undercut that, I think, at the end.
Oh yeah.
Really bad.
Gambling saved the day.
Gambling saved the day.
Yeah.
And the two Smurfs that had the bug the worst, and I'm pretty sure were the ones that were the kind of the key ones that brought it back to the village. Were kind of like really dogging on the moral that Papa Smurf was going to go on, and of course he did. But at the same time, Brainy Smurf losing everything was there was some edge to that. If I was a kid, I'd be like, he can't even go home. Did he put a lock on the door? There's a lock. You got to Smurf this door. How you going to Smurf this door with a lock on this? Yeah.
Real quick. Yeah. That was my beef with the whole Smurf thing. Maybe they don't use it for every word. Maybe they have rules about it. But when they use a word and then in the next sentence, that word is now Smurf, it doesn't make any sense. Either use it as a word or use it as a Smurf,
Right.
not both.
Yeah.
Were we recording yet? But when you mentioned that is an issue in other stories that they address
No.
that?
That was
Okay.
yeah.
It,
There's a whole storyline that is and like trying to choose what would be a good Smurf story for us to talk about. That was one that's on my list where I was like, oh man, maybe we should start there. But I just thought, nah, gambling in Smurfs is so weird. It's
yeah.
kind of the perfect entry point for the Grawlix audience.
No, I think that was a good choice. But the use of Smurf is so it's nonsensical. And Melanie's right. It replaces words that they use in other sentences. It doesn't make sense. It is sometimes a verb, sometimes an adjective, sometimes it might even be a noun sometimes. And sometimes they just interject it into words like catastrophe. What?
Yeah.
Catastrophe? Are you kidding me?
Maybe some of these get lost in translation.
I was
Like, I wonder how much of this is like translated, in a weird way.
it really just seems like, in fact, when there were like a whole panel of a Smurf talking and they didn't say Smurf once, at a certain point I started to notice that more than the constant use of Smurf. I was like, whoa, the Papa Smurf must be real serious. He didn't say Smurf once.
They're just talking now. Oh no, it's the Smurfs hit the fan there.
And it's interesting because they use it so often and so unnecessarily that I think they do slip it in as an expletive once in a while where something
yeah.
is smurfing something. So
But every
that's
once in a while
kind
they
of
just
fun.
do Grawlixes. That's one of the things that I think is so funny about like reading original Smurf materials. Like Papa Smurf is so salty, man. Like the dude he's constantly like he's probably the Smurf most likely to swear.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned their interaction with the human world. That's interesting because it's been a long time since I've read a little bit of Smurf stuff, like especially we were talking about the zombie
Oh yeah.
outbreak storyline
Yeah.
that you brought to my attention a while back. But otherwise, yeah, as a kid, like used to watch Smurfs all the time, but it's not something I've really kept up on. So the interaction with the human world kind of being forbidden in a way, and Papa Smurf being like, it's nothing but trouble. Like you don't interact with them, don't go there. It causes us nothing but trouble. That's interesting. How much this story ends up like being involved in the human world is kind of interesting. Right. And also is it Gargamel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's obviously a bad guy, right? Like he's
yeah.
really dedicated to like revenge on the Smurfs, but at the same time, by the end of the story, the Smurfs kind of deserve it a little bit because like it kind of seemed like things were going okay. Gargamel was like, I had fun today. And then he's like, wait, you guys are making fun of me. And at first I was like, is he just being like over like sensitive
about it, yeah.
But then Papa Smurf's like, oh, we got him, or one of the Smurfs is like, we got him, huh? And it's like, why? You guys legitimately like you could have buried the axe there.
Gargamel legitimately saved Smurf Village.
He did. And they kind of like trash at the end. It's like, well, no wonder he hates you guys.
Yeah. I mean, you know what there was not enough of? Azrael. He's my favorite character. And there was not enough of him in it.
But what you did have was him basically trying to straight up murder Smurfs.
Well, yeah, but that's his nature. He's a cat.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was an intentional. Maybe this is coincidental, but at one point, I think it was after Papa Smurf found the speakeasy. He's like, I can't trust you at all, or I really can't, or it turns out I can't trust you. And that's the same thing Gargamel said to the cat when he threw the cat out. Like it's like the exact same line. And I was like, I wonder if that's intentional or just coincidental, or if I'm just looking too much into it. I'm probably looking too much into it.
And that cat has the same name as, at least according to some biblical texts, as Satan. So.
Oh.
Yeah,
And the
but I love that
Batman
cat. He's cute and he's fun.
from the 90s.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
It makes me think for some reason of that one time that Bonsai killed a chipmunk or whatever on the patio, and you got all upset about it.
Well, yeah, sure. Because these cute furry creatures are kind of like demons. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
The law of the beasts. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't.
Oh, I'm not sure what else to say other than I did want to talk about the art, and I'm sure like because these comics are old, right? Like these are from what 60s maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm sure for the books they've got a nice recolor.
I'm sure.
I
I'm trying to see
am.
where's the original copyright for this? Doesn't necessarily say. This was printed in 2019, but the original copyright would be way older.
I'm gonna find out. Sorry for my typing.
It makes me think of like those old Disney comics as well, you know.
I'm sorry. I didn't
You should be sorry.
No worries. I don't know what's happening, but no worries.
My phone's talking to me.
Oh. So what I was gonna say is, other than it having old school art style, like it looks like old newspaper strips, like just the style or old cartoon style.
Yeah.
Other than it being dated just in the style of itself, it looks super clean and like timeless. And I was amazed at like how on model everything is. The characters, it's so consistent. The colors looked great. Any panel could be, I would say, a frame out of the cartoon, but it probably actually looked better than the cartoon because,
it's all just flats. There's no cell shading. There's, well, I mean, I guess there's some gradient work, but other than that, it's all flat colors.
Very clean. The line work is extremely clean. Yeah, it looks good. Like outside of the style dating, I think it looks pristine. Looks like it could have been made yesterday.
I was just flipping through and I'm like, looking at the drummer Smurf who's trying to play his drum to announce the decree of Papa Smurf, but he doesn't have a drum because because of his gambling habit.
That is Gargamel a necromancer?
I don't know. I mean, like he's got some dark arts for sure.
Or a necrophile.
I'm pretty sure in that story, didn't they say necro and they stopped?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I think it was maybe when he was fighting one of the knights because they have Gargamel compete, which seemed like it was a terrible idea, but like worked out.
Oh man.
Compete against the other humans as part of the wager to like stop the humans from basically clearing the whole forest and destroying the village and then Gargamel's home. That's why they teamed up. But yeah, when he wins one of the battles, the knight or whatever that he was fighting against said necro and then got cut off because he fell off the whatever they were sitting on or whatever. So I was like, wait, is he a necromancer?
Oh, maybe. Is that when they're racing on the pigs?
Yeah.
It's that or the sack fight race or sack fight, whatever, where they're it was like a pillow fight, right? Like they're sitting on a bench thing or something.
A pole
and hitting
like
each other.
Long ways pole.
Yeah.
I see that because I feel like every time you go and see his house, he's got his skull sitting there or something. So that makes sense.
He's literally creating life. Like he created Smurfette, and he turns himself into a imposter Smurf at one point. And the only way you can tell that he's not a real Smurf is he doesn't have a real tail.
Oh, okay.
Tails?
They do have tails.
Little nubby tails. Yep.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
They're like a nub. It's like a ball.
So do you think he just created all the Smurfs and we just don't know about it? Because there's no Smurfs anywhere else, but they're right there by him.
Right. And he's obsessed with them. I don't know.
Yeah, they probably outsmarted him and escaped, and now that's why he's mad at him.
Probably.
Weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, the Necro line captured my imagination in a way that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
that's pretty dark.
Like, what do the humans know that Smurfs don't?
Right. Right. That's maybe finish that word.
Yeah.
Pediatrist.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Pedometer.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was fine. It's interesting. I don't want this to sound bad. I asked Melanie afterwards. I was like, "Do you think for Jesse, is it primarily a nostalgia thing, or then again, you're like webcomics, like you're definitely more drawn to like that type of comic style, comic strips, stuff like that, because I did not dislike this, but it's not something like Smurfs comics is not something I would search out on my own. So I guess that's what I was getting at, is like, what is the appeal? Because Smurfs comes up a lot.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of nostalgia for sure, absolutely. But it's also like, it's a thing that I didn't really read as a kid. As a kid, I just watched the cartoons like everybody else, right? And so like I've become more of a student of comics as time has gone on, and to find out how revered Peo and the Smurfs and that style of cartooning over in Europe is it's held in high regard. And then to come back to it as an adult and be like, oh man, this is solid and this holds up in a way that some things don't, like we've done Stan Lee and Jack Kirby on the show before.
Right.
And it's like, this is easier to read than Stan Lee and Jack Kirby by far. Like, this is so much more solid. And so I'd be like, I guess I'm there's a wonderment for me in seeing something crafted so well that it's actually timeless. And the Smurfs are kind of that. They're not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but they're doing some things that have never been done before, and they're done so well the first time, or I mean, however long it took them to make these stories, that really they're still infinitely readable, even now.
And also remember he was talking about the Smurfs have some weird ADHD fixation thing. I think maybe that applies to maybe all of us. A little bit, so it could be some of that.
Oh yeah, this is just my current hyperfixation, or one of them, I suppose.
Well, no, that's interesting. That makes total sense, and it also hits a point that I was kind of making with the art a little bit. Is that timeless is the word, because other than the style being a specific way, where the style only looks old to me because I have that. I know what the Smurfs look like from the 80s,
sure,
and I know what old cartoons look like before that. And so like it's got that style, but it really is like so clean. And I see what you're saying, because I don't remember no gambling episodes. I don't remember no pre Night of the Living Dead zombie infection stories watching the old cartoons, like
right.
It is interesting to revisit the source material and also see like, oh, it was operating on a different level than even if you just watched if you grew up with the kids show, then you would realize. And I can understand the interest there.
Well, and I've also had like an interest in comics like the G.I. Joe comics, which were like kind of better than the cartoon too. Like you like the things that you grew up on, and you go back and you go, oh, there was other material that either spun out of this that was actually superior to it. Like those kinds of things are interesting to me. And sometimes that it's not always the case. Like we've read some Star Wars comics and they weren't necessarily better than the movies.
Right.
They may have expanded on some things, but they weren't better.
Right.
And but then on the other hand, like there's some really another one that I get into is the comics, the Transformer comics specifically from the UK. Like there are some really good writers on the Transformer books back in that time when they were super hot, and it's like, wow, they did some weird stuff with the Transformers IP back then, and did some cool things and had legitimate writers on that did almost a Chris Claremont style run, where they were on there for a long time. So
yeah, thank you for the recommendation, Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a fine read. I think. I don't know. Anybody can read it. I was just trying to think of like we used to do the.
Yeah. Who do you recommend it to?
This? Sure, it's fine. It's interesting. It's inoffensive.
Maybe not if you have a gambling addiction.
Right.
That might be triggering.
That's true. Oh yeah, that was the other thing, undercutting the whole moral of the thing. I'm kind of an anti-gambling person. I don't have a problem with it, but I also like
you old goat.
I feel like I enjoyed that he kept calling him old timer and old goat, and Papa Smurf wasn't having none of it.
Nope.
But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. It's back around to me, and I do not have the next thing we're gonna cover picked yet.
Ooh, so it's gonna be mystery meat.
Yeah. Oh, I do want to throw it out to you if you guys had final words on this. On Smurfs.
It was a Smurfing time. Figure it out.
Figure it out.
It was a Smurfing time. Figure it out. That's a shirt.
Would you recommend this? Smurf,
yeah.
Smurf.
Smurf.
Oh, she went Smurf with the hard F.
Oh no! Oh man!
He called Papa Smurf, I think it was, referred to other Smurfs as Smurf in a derogatory way too. What a bunch of Smurfs, or these are the total Smurf, something like that. And it's like, what does Smurf mean?
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It's not the best. It's not the worst, but I feel like it was the right choice.
It was the right choice.
Grawlix excursion. So
yeah, I agree. And yeah, mystery meat. Not sure what the next one will be. And since I was a little frazzled at the beginning of December, which is when we're recording this, I have yet to release the Uzumaki episode. I've got it downloaded and stuff. I just haven't went through and lightly edited it. So that'll probably be our January episode. So this will be our February episode on the audio feed.
Nothing says love like love of the game.
That's right. So we'll see you then or something.
Yeah, Smurf off.
Yeah.
I can't tell from context clues if that's a positive reading or a positive thing or a negative thing.
Yeah, like it could be sign off and it could be something else.
Hey, get
kind of
Smurfed.
Perfect for Grawlix. Yeah, it's like its own Grawlix, man. The Smurfs were ahead of their time on that.
Right. Get Smurfed, Grawlix.
Yeah, they were like,
Yeah.
slap a Smurf on it.
Slap a Smurf on it. You know
Slap
what?
a-
You know what? Thursdays can get smurfed.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Well, that was amazing.
It was amazing.
You know what else is amazing?
What?
Modern medicine.
Okay.
And I'm going to share a couple of reasons why.
Do it.
Okay. First, a woman from South Korea received the first successfully implanted 3D printed windpipe. It was made entirely from the patient's own cells and didn't even require any rejection prevention drugs to work. So that's awesome.
Wow.
That's the future. That's what we're doing now. Okay, then second, a team of researchers in Leipzig, Germany, have tested a gene therapy, or have been testing a gene therapy that can be added to a 3D printed gel material that they use to surround a bone, and then it helps it to repair itself. And they were able to cure osteoporosis in mice with this. So they're fairly confident that they can just upscale it and it will work in humans, but that remains to be seen. And then the last one was researchers from Bayer College of Medicine in the U.S. found that elevated levels of protein SOX9 triggers specialized brain cells that increase plaque cleanup, like supercharges it. And they're really excited about that because that could be helpful in treating a few neurological disorders like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and others that are caused by plaque buildup in the brain. So they're excited about that, but as with so many other scientific discoveries, that needs more research before it goes anywhere. So that's it.
That is amazing.
That was amazing. Are we going to get 3D printed heart valves then? Or
Actually, they do that. They can 3D print that will go around your heart. So it's like, it is not only like the shape of your heart, but it moves. But they are trying to figure out how to make it where they can 3D print it with your own cells still. But they already do have the first part of it done. Yeah.
nice. Because that
Yeah, I
seems like
know.
a really huge, obvious win.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I think before long, I mean, maybe not in our lifetimes, but possibly, it depends on how long we live, I guess. Surgery will just be done. You won't even need it anymore. They'll just have like maybe a little cut, shove some stuff in there, and they'll be done. So I'm really excited about the future for medicine, at least.
Yeah, nice.
All right. Well, hey, anything we want to, Jesse, you got anything going on? Anything you want to mention before we bounce out of here?
Nothing I can think of at the moment. No.
Right. How about you, Melanie?
I gotta go to the bathroom. That's about it.
Okay. In that case, yeah, no, I don't either. He
When you got a Smurf, you got a Smurf.
Yeah.
That's right. Helix Rock Radio, thanks for smurfing. I'll be on tomorrow night, most likely. I don't know. Depends how I feel, but I'll probably be on tomorrow night. Doing my favorite tracks of the year. It's December. I need to start getting on that because that usually stretches out to like 4 episodes. We'll see what happens. But rockradio.live if you want to check that out. Fridays, listen to some metal with me. Extreme metal.
Edge of the Smurf Biss.
Yeah, Edge of the Smurf Biss. Get smurfed. Listen to some Smurf metal, some Black Smurf, some Smurf core.
Black Smurf sounds bad, man.
Okay, you're right.
They recolored those.
Oh no. Smurf core. That's it.
Smurf core. That's better. Yeah.
There we go. And otherwise, thanks everybody for listening. Thanks for watching, even though we're audio only right now. Have a great weekend. Thursdays can get smurfed. Bye everybody.
Bye-bye.